You are.
Bop. Okay, we're live. Hello, internet. We're live. Hello, everybody. We're the nerds. This is the Nerd Ledger. I'm Cage. That guy in the
Yep.
orange over there is Chair. We are
Yep.
here. We are live on the interwebs. We are. We're just here to talk
Yep.
about nerd stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
Star Wars stuff.
yeah, same stuff as always, to be honest. But there's some news we can run through, and most of it's pretty boring, to be honest. But that's all right.
Mm.
Um, I did kind of like last week because we didn't really talk about any news last week, and I was like, bro, there's like nothing interesting to talk about.
Mm.
But I
You got a
did,
little stockpile going now.
well, not really. I mean, but like I did kind of like forget about. We had previously discussed like if Marvel was kind of like moving away from Kang and stuff because like they're like the people working on the Kang Dynasty movie like all either got fired or left the project, right? And there
Mm.
was all that kind of stuff. But there was news like last week that the guy who did Loki season 1 and 2 is actually gonna do the Kang Dynasty, which lends credence to the idea that they're not gonna move away from Kang.
Mm.
But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they should. Like, not just. I mean, Jonathan Major's trial started like last week, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
So maybe they're just putting them. There's only two Marvel properties coming out next year, right? And then like a single movie or something, because everything got pushed back because of the writer strike, right?
yeah. So
Or
there's
whatever.
there's one movie, and that's a Deadpool 3,
Mm.
and there's three TV shows. Echo in January. What If season 2? Not
That's
sure
right. What if?
when. And then X-Men '97 also is meant to come out next year. So
Okay.
those are the
Was,
projects.
was X-Men '97 a reboot of the cartoon? You said?
It's
Is that what
it's a
that is? Or
continuation, yeah. So
okay.
the cartoon came out in '92, so a lot of people refer to it as X-Men '92, and so this is going to take
Mm.
place 5 years later.
Mm.
So it's X-Men '97 apparently. So I'm actually looking forward to that. I don't really care that much about What If season 2, but like it'll probably be decent. And then yeah, just Deadpool and Echo, and I think that's fine. Not only because of the strikes, just I think in general like they need to slow down, and I wish they would slow down more on the TV shows because I feel like that's where people are getting kind of hung up and why people aren't going to the theater as much anymore for MCU movies.
Mm.
Because like there's been a lot said about like the Marvels and like the last report was like it was like under 200 million worldwide box office, like 192 or something, and Marvel says it's our lowest grossing. We're gonna stop reporting box office publicly. There's no reason to.
Mm.
And so Bob Iger came out and talked about it a little bit, and there was an article, but I'm not going to read it. I just know what he said. So pretty much he said like the Marvels was filmed during COVID, and there wasn't a lot of supervision over it and whatever.
Yeah,
And
I
so that's
remember.
kind of
I think we talked. I think we talked about that last week, actually,
yeah.
or
But
so
I don't
briefly.
think that's why it failed. Like again, like it was a very entertaining movie. Sure, there were like the power switching thing was like a plot convenience, and like it didn't always like the rules were very fast and loose around it,
Mm.
and things like that. And the villain was maybe less interesting than people care for, or whatever. Like there were sure issues with the movie overall, but like if you're just going to enjoy a movie, like it's a very enjoyable movie, right?
Mm.
Um, but I don't think that's why. I don't think people didn't go see it because. Oh no, they're trying to, it's the MCU. Look at all the women leading. Oh my god, or that people
Yeah,
didn't go see it because of whatever reason. I think people didn't go see it because people just don't know what they need to watch before anything anymore. They don't know what the
yeah,
prerequisite is. Like, it used to be
yeah.
three
There
movies a
were.
year.
Yeah, I saw that a lot of that anxiety out there too. And another thing is, again, it's like, it's a little close to home considering the conversation we had before we started. But a lot of people are out there right now are hashtag struggling. And, going to the movies and buying popcorn and doing all this stuff is actually kind of a big expense for some people. And like, or when you're taking like three or four kids, you want to make sure that the movie you're going to go see is like a good and cool. So I think
Yeah,
that's another thing that happened is that a lot of people just assumed that the Marvels would be bad. They got caught up in the bad press, and they knew that they saw Captain Marvel, and they saw Captain Marvel wasn't very good, and they like maybe they watched it on Disney Plus or something like that, and then they're like, okay, I'm not gonna go see the Marvels. Like
that's the crazy
that
part though. Is
that
like
that this yeah it is because that decision like the decision okay let's not go see the Marvel movie, let's go see something else was never you and that's something that you and I like that's something that was never be considered 10 years ago. It would be okay, we're going to go see whatever Marvel movies in theaters if we haven't seen it already, and then
yeah,
we're going to go see and then hopefully we'll be able to see something else after. Like
right.
now it's getting to the point where like okay there's all these other movies out and we need to
But nobody's
we can
seeing
only
any
go.
of them.
Yeah, there's that too. Like, the Flowers of the Kill apparently Kills of the Flower Moon really did flop, and so did Napoleon. Napoleon flopped really hard
Yeah,
apparently, and
like
nobody's talking about that. Like all they could do.
everything is flopping. Like the movies that aren't flopping are like the Taylor Swift concert movie,
Yeah,
because it's Taylor Swift and everything she touches turns to fucking gold.
Golden Gold. Yeah, she 5%
Um,
of GDP in the fourth quarter was growth was because of Taylor Swift. By the way, fun actually. Like that's the thing that actually happened.
yeah,
Third
and
quarter growth.
then
My bad.
Barbie
We're in
did
the fourth
well,
quarter. Yep,
but there was a
Barbie
lot
did
of.
really well.
I mean,
Oppenheimer did pretty well too. Like, apparently they
right.
didn't like break bank, but they
Well,
like
those
broke
movies
even at
came out
least.
on the same day, and there was
Yeah.
a lot of Gen Z TikTok hype around it. When you get TikTok behind something, I mean, everybody wants to go see it. Like,
Yeah.
bro,
Like the
look
Gentle
at.
Minions.
Listen,
Did you ever?
I work in the grocery industry,
Mm.
and you know what sells like crazy? You know what has huge year over year sales? Fucking cottage cheese. You know why? Because of TikTok.
Well,
Literally only because of TikTok. When we talk about
I don't know. My mom
updates
loves
every
cottage
week,
cheese.
we talk about updates every week on desks. Thank you
Mm.
Gen Z, thank you TikTok. Cottage cheese is up year over year 25%. Holy shit! Like
Yeah. Why is that? Is there like a cottage cheese trend or something like that, or
people
is it
do
because my?
like cottage cheese and peaches, or like they'll make like pasta recipe, like pasta salads with like chickpea pasta and
Mm.
like little cherry tomatoes and cottage cheese and shit. Like, bro,
Mm.
I don't know, it's just everywhere on TikTok, so it's people buy it.
Uh,
People buy
man,
it.
I love food. I love Foodstagram. That's why I was driving the meat industry. Every time I go and see all those freaking steaks cooking on Foodstagram when I'm just swiping on Reels. Now that I know, I'm not
Well, the
on
meat
Instagram
industry
at
is
all.
being driven into the fucking ground in California because
Yeah.
of laws, but
Hopefully also Tyson just had to recall like, another 30 million gajillion bags of chicken for like, the sixth time this year or so. They're kind of shooting themselves in the foot too. So, there's a
yeah.
lot of blame to go
Oh,
around.
and
There's a lot of blame
when
to
you
go
talk
around out
about
here.
people being broke and shit, and
Yeah.
whatever, like when I think the way I think about things these days for some reason is like how many pounds of chicken could I get for this?
Yeah. Well, chicken's
Like
really good. Well, because you and I love fast food, and like like I had chicken strips today from Jack in the Box. Okay, there's something magic about like just chicken that's been fried and like has breading around it, and it's nice and juicy when you bite into it, and the breading around it like adds to the flavor of the chicken, and it's all melting in your mouth in one flavor extravaganza, and it's fantastic. I do have like a budget. I may not appear to like I have a budget, but I do keep a budget. And man, but the problem is my budget's all fucked up because I put stupid shit in there like Taco Bell, and that budget keeps getting bigger because of inflation. You know,
bro,
you
Taco
gotta
Bell is ridiculous now.
ridiculous. It's like $20 every time I go to Taco Bell. It's like $20,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
20 to $25.
I can go and get regular good tacos. Like
Yeah.
what's the fucking
Bro,
point,
you can go
bro?
to like a
Damn.
local like just Mexican place and get like straight tacos for like 4 or 5 bucks.
Yeah, no, no, that's what I'm talking about. Like, and then you get like six of those at the same time, and it's like $20, and then you just eat them all
Yeah,
like
but
one
you go to
after the other,
Taco
like a
Bell
crazy psychopath.
and they have okay. So what I get at Taco Bell is I get the Chipotle chicken melts, and guess
Yeah,
what?
you turn me on to those.
Those things used to be $1. Now they're $2
Yep.
and 70 cents.
Yeah.
And when they're small and I order seven, bro, that's a huge difference in price.
Yeah. Like for
So
me, it's like I get two chicken chalupas, no lettuce, no tomato, no sour cream, extra meat, extra cheese, right? And damn,
bro,
like
that's
that
like
shit
12
used to be like,
bucks.
yeah, it's hell of expensive. It really is. And it used to be like $8 or $7. Like, something around there. Like, I'd be spending a little bit more on average. Like, I'd go and I spend like $13. Like, wow, that's a big, because back 5 years ago, wow, that's a lot of money at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Not the same anymore though.
No,
Um,
I mean that's why, like, bro, like I'm on a budget. I haven't had fast food in a long time. like any of it.
Yeah.
Like, well,
Yeah.
McDonald's, I've been off McDonald's for like a year and a half, which is
Yeah.
pretty good.
That's more of a spiritual thing for you, I know. But
Yeah, yeah, but I haven't had Taco Bell in probably like 2 months.
you know, it's
So
hard. Like, when you're struggling like me, like again, I just go and get I go and get shit from like the grocery store. I go to the frickin' Safeway has that deli counter, right?
yeah,
Did you ever go to the deli out here when you were working at the harbor, that Safeway deli, and get like the
well,
chicken tenders they have?
yeah. I mean, I used to get some chicken
Yeah.
tenders or like do like the $5 fried chicken Friday. I don't think they even have that
Yeah.
anymore because it's
No,
inflation.
what they got now is a $9 plate. Is they'll give you a main and then two sides for $9 even, which is actually a pretty good deal. And
Mm.
those chicken tenders they got there are huge, and they always put three of those huge ass tenders on there. So that's like, it's way more worth it than going to freaking McDonald's across the street, because at McDonald's I'll get less, and it'll be like shitty tasting or worse, and it'll be more expensive. Like, it's crazy. It is. It's just the world is upside down
You
right
know
now,
what's
bro.
even more not profitable, but you know what's even more inexpensive is going to the grocery store and buying like a package of chicken breasts for like $10. That'll feed you for
Yeah.
like 3 days, and you can
Yeah.
make it with like rice or whatever. Bro, I don't know. That's what I do. I just make dishes now
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah,
way cheaper.
that's how you're supposed to be
But I
doing
eat a
it. Like,
lot, so it's not actually that much
yeah.
cheaper.
Yeah, like that's the way you're supposed to be doing it, is like going to the grocery and buying the individual things. It's healthier probably than what I do, like, which is like just get fast food once a day and then don't eat breakfast or dinner. You know, but I just
That's what I used to do
yeah,
all the time. Yeah.
yeah,
Like I would because like bro, you have to make like smart choices and there's a lot of opportunity costs and it's like, bro, if I'm going to go to McDonald's, that's all I'm going to eat. I'm not going to get anything else that day. So like if I know I'm going to go, bro, I'm not eating anything before that. Like,
mm,
it's like the same thing like for Korean barbecue. Like of course, bro, I ain't eating shit that day. I'm a starve until I can gorge, you know?
yeah,
But like
yeah.
now I try to be more
That's a good way to
balanced.
do it. Yeah, too. Like, that's a good way. I don't know. Like, I just feel like the whole like freaking like you only eat once a day is pretty. It's good. I'm losing a lot of weight, and that's good. And I'm still holding together like up top pretty well. So
Yeah, it's hard when you go to the gym.
yeah, sure.
Because
And
like
like I put in a lot of cardio, so I don't know if that just makes how I process like new, because I do tons of cardio. Like, I walk my dog 6 or 7 miles, like, every day, Saturday and Sunday. Like, it's like just such a basic for me now that I don't even bring it up anymore. Like, to flex on people, I was like, yeah, dude, I just bust out 6 miles with my dog like in one day, 2 days in a row, and then we do like 3 miles on Monday through Friday, except for Wednesdays, which is today, because I get home and I take a nap before we start the podcast.
hmm,
Take a nap, sleep. Take good. It's always good to have a good little nap.
yeah, like usually I just have like almost every day when I go to the gym, like for
Mm.
lunch, I'll have egg bites and like something else. But usually just like something it's not a lot, but then I go to the gym and like it's enough to get me through the workout and then I'm dying and starving and need to eat. So then I just cook some chicken
Yeah.
and or whatever, right? Like
Yeah.
bro, I make my own chicken chipotle melts at home. I just grill up some chicken, cut it up, put some tortilla on the pan,
Yeah.
toast it up a little bit, put some cheese, put some chipotle mayo, put the
Yeah.
chicken on, roll that shit up, bro. I eat like 4 of those things.
Yeah.
It's good.
And that's actually a really budget way, friendly way, because you could like make more. You can make those and then freeze them and probably like heat them up. They'd probably be okay.
It could, but that I
Yeah.
don't I don't like freezing things, but yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
like eating what I have. And like I shop like every week and just like buy food for the week and like I don't know.
There you go.
I'm not a fan of freezing things, but my wife freezes a lot of stuff, so
Yeah. It's just good for if you're lazy, like I am. Like,
yeah. I
it's
feel
really
like
good.
if I freeze things, I'll forget about it and just never eat it.
Yeah. So you just got to make. When that's when the whole starving thing really helps with that, because you're like, oh yeah, I got that food that I froze. And you can go
No,
and eat
I just go, man. I don't have any food because I forget it's there
it.
and I don't check. And I'm like, man, I gotta go out and go to the grocery store. I gotta go, pick something
Yeah.
up real quick.
Yeah, that's why I'm really. I think that's why like clearing out my Steam library of games I didn't play was really helpful for me. Like, just consuming the things in my life now, because now I'd only like buy to replace. Like, that's when good thing, I guess. Like, I don't like buy like overstock. I'm like, well, gotta throw this whole thing out. Usually a lot of the throwing out of the old things has stopped really lately, which has been really good for my budget and everything like that.
Yeah.
What were we talking about originally? How was that in the nerd news again? Sorry, folks. We do occasionally
We're
talk
talking
about
about
nerd news here, but we do.
people being broke and couldn't go afford to go see
Uh,
the Marvels.
yeah, or they did, or they just didn't want to, and they went and saw something
Yeah,
else, like a
because
kids
the
movie that was
really
coming out.
shocking thing is that I didn't even know this until like I read it today, but Captain Marvel, the first one, which everyone was
Beat this
hating
one.
on, right?
Yeah,
Like
and
before it even
arguably
came
to me
out,
was a worse movie. Was a worse movie than this movie.
that movie made 1.2 billion dollars.
Yeah,
That's crazy. This
yeah,
movie made 200K.
yeah. 200 million.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
200 M's. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. 200K. Like
200K.
okay, they're
Holy
wow,
shit.
really like the worst box office of
Oh,
all time. Like
yeah.
one, like seven people across the country saw.
Yeah, but
Um,
I mean, I can go through some other news. So there's been a bunch of like Deadpool 3 stuff coming out.
mm,
Obviously, like with like
leaks. I saw the leaks and stuff. Yeah.
leaks, yeah, and then like Jennifer Garner was asked about coming back as Elektra, and she kind of played coy about it. But yeah, there were some leaks, and Ryan Reynolds had something to say about that. He posted like this whole fucking thing on his I don't know where he posted it, Instagram or something. Uh, Pretty much, this is what Ryan Reynolds says. He said, surprises are part of the magic of theatrical movies. It's important for us to shoot the new Deadpool film in real, natural environments using practical effects, as opposed to making the movie indoors and digitally. Telephoto lenses continue to spoil surprises and create a difficult situation for everyone. Here's hoping some of the websites and social channels hold back showing images before they're ready. The film is built for audience joy, and our highest hope is to preserve as much of that magic as possible for the finished film and the big screen. Part of the reason people post spoilers is because they're excited. I realize these aren't real world issues, and it's firmly in the good problems bucket. And he just kind of finished off by saying, I love making this movie. So, yeah, I mean, it's not the first time this happened. I mean, like, a bunch of shit got spoiled about, like, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Charlie Cox being in Spider-Man No Way Home, and, like, whatever. Like, it's just kind of the reality these days. And for people who don't know about this spoiler that was posted, these images that were leaked, if you don't want to know, you can skip ahead like 20 seconds. But essentially, there were images of Sabretooth, the first original Sabretooth from the original X-Men movie, not the one from, not Liev Schreiber's version. And
Mhm.
there was a photo of Wolverine fighting him, and then there was a photo of Deadpool carrying his head and walking around with it. So,
Mm.
um, there's a
But
spoiler.
Can Saberwolf like freaking
Sabretooth.
resist that? A Sabretooth. Can Sabretooth like resist like getting his head cut off? Is he talking or something like that? Is that what's going on? Or is
I
he
don't
just
know.
dead?
I mean, so there are versions. It's important
Mhm.
to clarify this because, it's the history of these characters is kind of complicated, right? So you know Wolverine, right? Wolverine has a healing factor, right? Well,
Yeah.
Sabretooth
Yeah.
also has a healing factor. So,
Yeah.
um, arguably, you can remove Sabretooth's head and he won't die,
Mhm.
because he has a healing factor. The only way to actually kill him or Wolverine in most cases is with this mystic blade in comics called the Morimusa blade, and it's hard to find and it's hard to get a hold of. And the only time I've seen it used, which I could be wrong, but the only comic book I've read where it was used is when Wolverine used it on his son to cut out the blades in his arms, and then buried the blade like deep somewhere, or like put it in like another dimension or some shit, so that his son, who was evil, would stop murdering people.
Mm.
But yeah.
Well, I don't know anything about X-Men, so I'll take your word for it. And like, yeah, you're right. That is a spoiler. Like, he's okay. This character was in this shot, and then there's like another shot of him, of Deadpool carrying around that character's head. So obviously, like, that lets us know what's going on. And that's shitty that it came out. And but
Yeah.
I'm honestly just surprised there are, with considering like all this stuff. I'm surprised there aren't more leaks.
Well, I mean, there
All the
probably
time, like
are. Like,
like all the time of everything.
you know what honestly happens? Like, I'm not sure. This is just a guess. I've been full of conspiracy theories lately. Not like about politics or anything, but just like about little things in my own life. My
Mm.
guess is what happens is people take these pictures and then probably email the people working on the on the set and say, "If you don't want me to leak this, pay me." I imagine that happens.
Yeah,
So,
probably.
in other news, Wyatt Russell, who he played the evil Captain America version character in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Hmm.
He's going to be in Thunderbolts, and he says it's time to make a good Marvel movie. He said, the story that I think they've come up with is really interesting. I know parts of the story and how the story works. I can't talk about it, but it's not a straightforward Marvel movie as you've seen in the past. I think that it's going
Big
to
yikes.
I think that it's going to be a lot of fun, but I think that it will be something that hopefully Marvel fans will look at and go, "Oh, okay, this is a little different. Let's go hard at it." And as far as how we are approaching it, it's time to go to work a little bit. It's time to make a good Marvel movie, so let's do that and work hard at it and don't take things for granted. Okay, yes. So, yeah, that's what
Hmm.
Wyatt Russell said. He plays John Walker, a.k.a. U.S. Agent, a.k.a. quote-unquote Captain America. Not really. But, yeah.
Yeah, when I saw this, I almost screen capped the art because I'm not on Instagram right now, so I can't just like send you things like a normal millennial. But sometimes I almost wanted to freaking send you a message like damn big yikes. Because I just hated that when actors say like, "Oh, we're rewriting the script, bro. It's time to make a good movie again. Everything about our movie is different and unique, and it's gonna be fantastic." And maybe it is. I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
but we're gonna need to,
You have
it's
to know
good.
the track record of these people, right? Like you have to know what Wyatt Russell said before Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like if he
Mm,
said some shit like, "Oh, this is gonna change the MCU forever,"
yeah.
then you know, like, hey, bro, hey, you're capping, yo. So, in other news, Tom Holland also said he'll play Spider-Man again if it's right, like not if it's
I
not
fucking
right.
hope so. I fucking hope so. Like what? Damn! Like have they haven't even brought like a closure to this Spider-Man's freaking story yet, or at least this iterations of the MCU Spider-Man. So
Yeah,
unless you
yeah.
have a different vibe that they can just swing in with a different movie and a different Spider-Man and just force it into the MCU. Like I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so pretty much what he said. So this is what he actually said. He said, "All I can say is that we have been actively engaging in conversations about what it would potentially look like for a fourth rendition of my character. Whether or not we can find a way to do justice to that character is another thing. I feel very protective over Spider-Man. I feel very, very lucky that we were able to work on a franchise that got better with each movie, that got more successful with each movie, which I think is really rare, and I want to protect its legacy. So I won't make another one for the sake of making another one. It will have to be worth the while of the character."
Yeah.
Like, no shit. But yeah, I mean, I think that should be true of most things. Unfortunately, people continue to just make movies for no reason other than the first one was successful. So,
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Like, they'll try and recapture the magic. Sometimes they can. Sometimes they make it better, like in case of Empire Strikes Back. Or in some cases they make things worse. So we'll just have to wait and see. It's the classic line.
yeah.
Because we don't really, this movie could be good. Like that, I like, I like parts of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I like that guy who's playing Captain America. Like I kind of liked his struggle of just like him trying to fill in those shoes and just being shit on by everybody all the time, and he just keeps like literally goes down like an insane dark path and stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
big stretch.
Oh,
There we
fuck.
go.
Bro, I did hip
Leg,
adductors or whatever. Fucking shit, bro. My
yep.
fucking groins are killing me. Like, it was like I did on
Yep.
Monday, and yesterday I was like fine for most of the day. And then, like, towards the end of the day, and like when I was sleeping, bro, this shit just hurts hella bad. I don't know.
That's
I
how it
bet you
be.
I did something wrong. I mean, I know I didn't stretch, so that was already wrong. I probably fucked some tendons up or some shit, dude. Oh,
Yep.
that hurts. Zack Snyder was in the news a bunch this week for like no reason, but he said he hasn't watched Joss
Mm.
Whedon's cut of Justice League, which why the fuck would he? He also talked about which DC and Marvel projects he'd be willing to direct. What else did he say? He said a bunch of random shit. Um, I know he also got the rights back to 300, so he might be making more of those movies.
Yep. Cool.
So he said there's both a DC and Marvel project he would consider directing if they were offered to him. He said,
Do you think that like the like those producers that are at that level, like just have they can like call up someone at Disney and Disney will say, yeah, like these are all the movies we have planned, and then like say, okay, well, if this is that what like how that works? Like I don't know. Can they
Um,
do that? Like they'll tell them like they'll give them the scoop on like everything because they know they're the only one that would have that information. So they'll tell you, yeah, like we got like this movie coming up in 2026, we got this movie coming up in 2027, and that movie is like, the big thing that leads into this movie in 2028 or whatever.
as far as like recruiting directors,
Yeah, and producers and
oh,
stuff.
I have no idea. My guess is like usually they, so it's probably like obviously things work from the top down. So Kevin Feige or whoever, they're like, all right, this is the path we want to take, and these are the ways we're gonna get there. And so like they draft all that, and then he has people in mind for those things before they do like a call. But like my guess is like a lot of times they're like, okay, this movie would be perfect for someone like this or like whatever. Um, but maybe like my guess is they call people and they're like, okay, here's the pitch kind of thing. Um,
Hmm.
but I'm sure that it also works the other way around where like writers or directors also have pitches and they call Marvel and they're like, hey, we want to do this, and then they try to integrate that into their plan. So I
Yeah.
don't know all the workings of that, but that's kind of what I think happens. But
Yeah, it would be interesting to learn.
yeah, but yeah. So Zack Snyder said that he has largely took blah. He's largely looking to step away from superhero movies now that James Gunn and Peter Safran are rebooting the DCEU into a new DCU that launches in 2024. He said, we've been on the treadmill. It has not evolved. I don't have the excitement for it that I used to have. But what the fuck? So, he admitted there are a couple
You know?
projects that could potentially bring him back to the superhero world. If Gunn called him and invited him back to DC Studios, for example, Snyder said he would consider doing an adaptation of Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, just so long as it's quote unquote a true representation of the graphic novel. You tried to do that with Batman vs Superman, and then you didn't for some reason. So.
Mm.
For Marvel, Snyder said he'd potentially be interested in adapting Miller and Lynn Valley's Elektra Lives Again, and then he said that's it. Apparently he was also asked if he would ever make a Star Wars movie. He said he wasn't interested in that, quote, those guys have a handle on the brand.
Mm.
So yeah, which is interesting because he's making a ripoff of Star Wars called Rebel Moon.
Yeah, I don't know about all this Rebel Moon stuff when you just said like it's like Star Wars but with like sex and drugs, and I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. And then I never cared about Rebel Moon again. It's like, oh, we got like a video game in tandem releasing with that's going to be like tie
Oh
into the show
yeah,
or whatever. I'm
yeah,
like, cool, that's like cool or whatever. Maybe I'll play the video game. I don't know. I haven't fucking played that new Bethesda game because I just don't have the computer that can handle it right now. So you know,
yeah. Speaking of video games, GTA 6 trailer finally dropped.
yes, it did. It looks really good. GTA 6 trailer. Beside, something much more important came out. The trailer for Fallout was actually really good. So
Oh,
I'm pretty
the it's
hyped
gonna be
about
on
it.
Netflix, right?
And though it's Amazon,
Amazon Prime, yeah.
Amazon Studios. Yep.
Yeah, they're doing everything.
Yep. Lord of the
They
Rings. But Fallout looks really, really, really good. And I have hope. I just it has a scene of a fucking German Shepherd ripping a Radroach's throat out like in the trailer. So, that's what they're willing to show you, and I'm pretty sure the road show's like not rated or whatever. So, I think it's gonna be fucking awesome. I, I think I think I think it's gonna be really bloody, funny, and like they got the practical effects. Like they've shown tons of shots already of the power suits, which are 100% not CGI created. Like even if they do look a little awkward, your brain fills in whatever gaps. And I am hyped, and I'm probably gonna be really disappointed because I'm hyped. But I hope it's awesome, and I really just hope they just make a cool Fallout show that's at least entertaining to watch because all the weird wacky shit. Yeah.
yeah. Also, the Boys creator Eric Kripke said he would love to adapt Brian K. Vaughan's Saga. So I probably lost a lot of people there, and they probably have no idea what I just said. What I said is
Yeah,
he
you
would
lost
love
me.
to adapt a comic book called Saga, which is written
Ah,
by a guy called Brian K. Vaughan.
I think
Um,
I've heard of Saga. I think I've heard of
yes,
that one
yeah,
before, but that's
probably
only
from
because I'm
me
a
because I
nerd.
talk about it a
Yeah,
lot.
it's probably because I'm like a nerd though. Yeah. No, the only graphic novel I ever read is. You ever heard of Amulet? You ever heard of that
I
one?
have, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's the only graphic novel I've ever read. I read all of them because I bought one when I was a kid. At the book fair, And I was like, wow, this is like really fucking awesome. The houses turn into giant robots and beat the shit out of stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Um, but yeah, Saga's incredible. Saga's great. I fucking love
Yeah,
Saga.
good,
Uh,
great.
yeah.
My sister,
But
I think my sister really likes it too, but I don't think she's that into it anymore. But she had a really big graphic novel phase that she went through for like 5 years, and then she doesn't really talk about it too much anymore.
yeah, there was news about Saga years ago that like they were maybe going to adapt it, and I don't know what happened to that.
Mm.
But yeah, essentially Eric Kripke is he's desperately wanting to campaign to do an adaptation of Saga, and if he does, people will love it.
Mm.
Trust me, it's great. Um,
Got
what else? Doctor Who Christmas special. I don't think anybody really cares about that, unfortunately. Um, Adam Driver talks about filming Han Solo's death. Okay, cool.
mm.
Oh, this could be interesting. Sorry, I'm literally just scrolling and finding news.
No,
Uh,
no worries. There's not like, we're in a kind of a dead zone right now because it's December, so we should all be spending time with our friends and loved ones instead of
oh,
podcasting. We, it's whatever.
yeah. Here's another follow up. Marvel has no plans to resurrect Iron Man. Cool. Remember, because they were like, "Hey, you're gonna bring him back," and there was like that rumor or whatever.
Yep. Yep.
Nicolas Cage talks about Ghost Rider. That's cool. Superman Legacy script for James Gunn's DC movie is essentially done. Jason Momoa takes pride in co-writing Aquaman 2, despite the fact that nobody's going to go see it. I think that's about it before I read these ones that I have to read. Gobbledygook, interesting. Katie Sackhoff can't imagine Bo-Katan not crossing paths with Ahsoka in live action. That'd be cool, I guess.
Mm.
Yep.
Making
Don't care
they're
about that.
making the they're making the Ray movie goes into production next year. I saw that.
Oh yeah. There's 3 Star Wars movies I think that they said were going to go into production next year or something.
Yeah,
Uh,
now the strike's over.
Patrick Stewart also says there's a possibility he might show up in Secret Wars. Um,
Who?
uh,
Who
Patrick
who might
Stewart,
show up in Secret
Professor
Wars?
X.
Oh, okay. They can kill him
Andor
again.
season 2 is been delayed until 2025.
Oh,
Yeah. Luke Cage. Sorry, that's a comic book thing. Don't nobody get excited for Luke Cage. That's a comic book thing.
people love Luke Cage.
Yeah, but I mean, like they might have thought I meant like Luke Cage is gonna have a TV show again or something. But don't get excited. It's just a comic book article. But yeah. Okay, here you go. Loki season 2 writer on the state of the superhero genre. So Loki season 2 executive producer and head writer Eric Martin has offered his insight on the superhero fatigue issue. In an interview with Esquire, Martin was asked about the state of the superhero genre in movies and television after box office woes of both the MCU and DCEU. In response, the Loki showrunner said he believes that the fan support for the genre will be there as the quality of the project is strong enough. He said, I don't think anyone knows where Hollywood is going from year to year. I think we all have guesses. At the end of the day, it just comes down to making things that people want to see, and I haven't noticed less engagement because my experience is all with Loki. I'm not sure with anything else, but I haven't seen any dip in enthusiasm. I've seen an increase.
Mm.
In the case of Loki, the Nielsen streaming rankings of 446 million minutes of viewing time over the first 3 days of the second season's debut were 39% lower than the 731 million minutes of viewing for season 1's premiere in 2021. However, with the arrival
Well, it's
of...
because
Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say episode one of Loki was like really, really good. Like I watched it like after we were talking about it, I went
Yeah,
back
it
and
was
watched
good.
it. I was like, damn, this episode is like fucking awesome. You know, there's no other way around it. Like watching it is very enjoyable.
Yeah. This guy also said the fans of the show seemed like they've only gotten more excited about it. So I don't know what to read. We can all kind of decipher that how we will. But I think we made a good show and people like it. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You make something that's quality. You can connect with the audience, and the audience is going to connect with you.
Hmm.
All right. He didn't really say much there, but yep. Nicolas Cage reveals what it would take to return as Ghost Rider. He said he's not ruling it out. He said, I'm not saying no entirely. I'm saying if something came along that I thought had some pop to it, some spark to it, that maybe could be fun for folks to revisit, like a Face Off 2 or Ghost Rider, that's another conversation.
Hmm.
Oh. I don't
Yeah,
think this.
sure,
I don't
maybe.
think he was.
I
Hold
didn't.
on. I don't think this question was about Ghost Rider at all. The question was, hold on. Cage discussed his desire to shift from acting in movies to starring on a television show, explaining that he would become very severe and stringent about the types of movie roles he takes on in the future. However, he revealed that not every role would get an immediate rejection. Okay, so he's pretty much saying it'd be fun to revisit Ghost Rider, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I watched that first Ghost Rider and it was kind of like a meme. So, and then some parts were cool, I guess. Like there were some cool shots. I don't know. Like it was just I didn't really impact me. And it was such a long time ago. I don't really remember it that well. Maybe I need to watch it again. Did you like it?
Not particularly.
Oh, okay. Well, there
But
you go.
but I'm not a huge Ghost Rider fan either. I mean, I preferred Ghost Rider and Agents of Shield, to be honest.
Mm.
Gabriel Luna's version of the character, which is a different version of Ghost Rider. It's not a Johnny Cage or whatever. Is that Johnny Cage?
Yep.
No, not Johnny Cage. Who the fuck is Ghost?
Mr. Martin, yeah.
I could tell you.
I don't know.
This is me showing you. I don't know anything about Ghost Rider. I don't read Ghost Rider.
All right, well, there you go.
Yeah. Like, I want to say the new version is Robbie Reyes, but I don't even think that's true. Who is that? Oh my god. Bro, I get all these people mixed up now. Sorry, not these people, but you know what I'm saying? Like, because there was a new version of Blue Beetle that was Hispanic, and he was the one that was in the movie. That wasn't Robbie Reyes, was it? Was it?
I have no idea, homie.
And then there's a new version of Ghost Rider who's also Hispanic. And I always get them confused. But yeah. Anyway, this is the last bit of news I found. Blade star Mahershala Ali offers a positive update on the MCU film's production. He spoke with EW. He said, "We're working on it." That's the best I could tell you. I'm really encouraged with the direction of the project. I think we'll be back at it relatively soon. All right. That's the whole update. That's all he had to say.
Great.
So yeah.
I hope they can make it.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna, the movie will be made still, you know what I'm saying, but who knows when it'll come out. I think it was supposed to come out next year, wasn't it? Originally? Or was it 2025? Because next year was supposed to be Deadpool, Captain America 4, and Thunderbolts. And Captain America and Thunderbolts both got pushed back to 2025. I don't remember when Blade was supposed to come out. It was supposed to come out this year, in November, or next year. I don't remember.
I think it's supposed to be this year. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it's supposed to be the Marvels was supposed to be
What
February.
the hell?
What? It's raining
No,
outside.
I just saw that they're taking they're taking Soul, Turning Red, and Luca, and they're putting them in theaters next year.
Yeah, I saw that.
2024.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if that's desperation or because these are all the COVID movies when the theaters.
So
are shut
they
down. I think
are
I'd go.
all movies that didn't have theatrical releases, and so
I think I would go see Soul in theaters. Not gonna lie, Soul was like something beyond the pale in quality.
Soul is the only one of those three that I actually watched.
Oh, Soul's so fucking good.
My wife watched Turning Red. I only read.
Yeah, I watched
weird
parts
things
of Turning.
about it.
I watched parts of Turning Red, but to be honest with you, the movie wasn't really made for me, so I missed a lot of the jokes. So it's just yeah.
Yeah. And then Luca, I meant to watch, I just never did.
Luca, I watched Luca with Rio, and we both really liked it. It was really cute. I thought it was cute, but she really really liked it. She thought it was very touching.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And it was a very sweet movie.
Yeah. Bro, I don't watch much movies, but
Yeah, I like watching movies, so.
yeah. What else? What's been going on in your life?
Just gaming, playing World of Warcraft Season of Discovery, which is the WoW version of WoW where like they re-released Classic, and everyone played that through and they didn't make any changes, and now
Yeah,
they're making changes. So
my thing froze,
they
but that's all right.
oh, yeah, you're a little spotty, but it looks like it's coming back now. Doing good, doing better. Is it,
I don't know.
no, it's still frozen.
It's
It's
not
still
moving for
streaming.
me. It's because I clicked on something in Discord, so now it's just being buggy.
Mm,
That's all right. I'll let it do its
yeah.
thing. Um,
People can still hear us.
I would yeah. I mean the sound seems fine. It's back now because I clicked out of that shit.
Okay.
But yeah. A lot of people have been playing
So
WoW
the
Classic, like hardcore.
yeah, the hardcore, I might do hardcore at some point, but man, maybe I'm gonna do it like on roleplay because I think that'd be cool to do like classic hardcore as a roleplay server. Because I just think it'd be a lot more immersive for the characters and probably keeps everything fresh. Which the problem is, over 5 years over a roleplay server, I notice every 5 or 6 years there's this drama explosion because people's characters just get too darn powerful and we come to expect too much of their character storylines and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I think I could see how hardcore would keep it fresh, but Season of Discovery's been pretty interesting so far. I wouldn't really say that they've made any other major changes aside from BFD though, and hidden a few things in the world. The good advantage Blizzard has here is in Classic, is that the map was just so darn huge, and there was a lot of creativity and love that went into the original Classic, like game zones. You play in World of Warcraft when you're wandering through the zones.
Yeah,
You
sure.
could just feel you could just feel like the detail and love in each like nook and cranny and stuff like that. And it is a damn shame a lot of it went to waste because like they just had a constrained budget. So they're taking a lot of the things that they had in the background to add to the world building, like actually including them in quests and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
But
I
aside
never
from
played
that, like
WoW.
oh wow. Aside from that, you just get some abilities and there's a new raid. That no, aside nothing else has changed at all. And
Yeah, a lot of Twitch streamers are like making guilds and like just getting to level 60 and doing raids and shit.
we're level 25. You get to level 25
Well,
in
they
Season
all
of
have to get to
Discovery.
level 60 for some reason.
No, you have to get to level 25
Well,
in Season.
all I know is they all had to
Okay,
get
then
to level
maybe
60.
they're not playing Season of Discovery then, because the Season of Discovery the level caps at 20 is at 25.
Yeah, it's probably not
Maybe it's
Season
just
of
regular.
Discovery. It's just
Yeah,
WoW Classic Hardcore.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, because your character dies, like permanently. Like that's if you die in
Yeah,
hardcore, your character dies.
yeah,
So the reason you want to grind out to 60 as fast as possible is probably so you can just do as much as possible while you're 60 before your character loses a raid, gets killed in a raid or something.
yeah,
Like you probably have to, that's the one thing I couldn't imagine doing hardcore in any major like serious way, like PvE player versus environment raider way, where like if one mechanic gets done wrong or something gets fucked up, you lose his character and all this progress forever, and you need to keep a backup of characters just in case that ever happens. Like that would be so hard and frustrating.
yeah,
I don't I couldn't see myself doing that. But I could see myself doing it for role playing, like role playing as a little foot soldier or something. Just some peasant RP I usually like to do sometimes.
yeah. That just shows you how little I know about video games. Is because I always thought PvE meant player versus everyone, not
Nope.
like every other player, like just like or everything. Like you're not playing against other players. You're like playing like a story
No,
or
it's player
like
versus it's players versus environment.
well,
Yeah,
I thought,
because see
yeah.
the
I mean, I know what it means, right? Because you're just playing against like the CPU essentially, and like,
well yeah well
uh,
not this yeah the NPCs which are controlled by an AI
yeah.
which do certain things and certain actions, the
But that's a
boss which has
CPU.
certain things.
Well, it used to
Yeah,
be called CPU.
yeah, well it's AI now. So
Like, remember playing video games on PS1 and you would play against a computer
yeah,
player?
yeah, the computer computer it stands for something so it's like computer yeah, anyway yeah I do remember that
Yeah,
though.
that's
So
why I always say CPU because that's what
yeah,
you're
because
playing
that's
against.
that's how it's still like that in the fighting games like in Smash and stuff they still call them the CPU.
Yeah,
But in MMOs, it's just a little bit different because like they spawn and they have like very specific things they do. Like
yeah,
when the CPUs kind of react to what you're doing based on their difficulty level, and then they just like code certain things out. Okay, this would be too difficult, and that'd be too difficult, so I'll just do this. Shit like that. And these games, like they only have one fixed difficulty to do the same thing all the time, and
yeah. They
you
attack on a
usually,
timer or whatever.
yep, yep.
Yeah,
So that's been, but it's been really good to just hang out with people, be social. WoW's a very social game, like that Star Wars game I'm
it's
playing. I'm
probably
not
why
playing
I
World of
wouldn't be
Warcraft.
very interested in it, other than the amount
World
of money people had to pay for subscriptions and the amount of time it took to play the game.
$15 a month, like it's crazy to think about, but Blizzard is really they're the ones that pulled that
Yeah,
genie out of the
yeah,
bottle. Like they're the one they originally like it was an MMO thing. It was all over the place. Like it was 9, it was 7. Like there's some that charged like 19, like $20 a month. There were some that were $7 a month. Blizzard settled on 15, and like that just became the standard. Like for subscription for everything, it's $15 a month, and EverQuest took, that it was really online gaming that really controls our lives now because everything is subscription, almost is
yeah,
transitioning to subscription based because that's the best way to make money statistically over the long term
yep.
instead of like innovating new products. Like, you just get a good product and slowly
Yeah,
change it and update
why
it over
sell
time.
something once for a fixed price when you can just lend it for that much money every month?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or a little bit less. Thing about WoW is like it's only $15. Like, come on, man. That's not like if you're like that's a pretty cheap thing. Like, you said you're not gonna split over what's 10 more dollars. Like, what's 15 more dollars? Like, it's not exact. And then once a year, yeah, there's an expansion you got to buy for 39.99 sometimes, and if you're just or if you're crazy, you can buy like the special edition collector super duper upgrade, which gives you a boot this and that and all this
Yeah, but
stuff
when
in the
you're
game.
like 14, I mean,
Yeah, well, that's when you can do what I do. You try and get good grades, and you do chores and stuff like that, and you freaking work around the town. You have $15, and you
yeah, it
give it to
didn't
your
matter
parents,
how
and
good my grades were. My mom was broke, so
no, you
and
couldn't give
eventually,
her $15.
no,
Well,
because when I started working, I made store credit at a comic book store.
oh well, there you go.
So,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I used to water plants around town and stuff like that, like plants in their
oh
backyards
yeah,
and shit.
I lived in apartments and with people on Section 8 housing, so nobody had money
Oh,
to give and nobody had plants. Um,
yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I could have walked a couple miles to a rich neighborhood, but they would
yeah.
probably tell me to get off their property.
I don't know. Well, it depends on, again, how you set up and presented yourself and everything like that. You just go around door knocking and offer services and stuff.
My shoes had
People,
holes in them.
oh, well, then you shouldn't be walking in them.
Yeah, well,
Um,
sometimes you don't have an option. Well, actually, my first job was when I lived with my grandparents for like a year. I mowed the lawn for $20 a month.
yep, there you go. That's the thing too, like, cleaning yards and stuff, raking leaves and shit during fall out here. It gets really bad. Another big thing I used to do as a kid, decobwebbing, bro. Cobweb king. You just go around and do dust cobwebs and stuff like that for people.
So when you started working at the harbor, it was like you're in a natural habitat, just
Pretty much,
de-webbing
yeah.
everything.
Everything combined together.
Bro, the
Cleaning up.
scariest shit was the massive ass wolf spiders.
Yeah, they're pretty big spiders, and they have all the babies on them and
And
stuff.
when you'd swipe it, that shit would explode.
Yeah,
With all the green goo guts just spilling everywhere.
yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah,
Bro, I feel like we've run out of things to talk about.
it's
Do you
because there's
think
no
the
new
MCU
shows.
is dying?
Well, everything's dying all the time. We're dying right now, so yes and no. Like, I could a really good movie. Like, here's the thing: a really good movie could come out and they could change it. And like next year, if like Echo's like really good, and then it's followed by like whatever this Marvel movie, the Deadpool 3, which is
Well,
gonna
I
probably
think
gonna be really
Deadpool is
good.
gonna pop off, box
Yeah,
office
I think
wise.
that if Deadpool 3 is really good and Echo's really good and the other MCU movie's good, and then the whole narrative next year is like Marvel is back, baby. Like, it'll change. Like, it's a narrative. Like, you gotta
Yeah,
get
but
in and
people
control the
won't
narrative.
buy that narrative. People will say it's not Marvel, it's Deadpool.
Yeah, that could be true or it could be false. Like, what if, but like I said, like, what if Echo's really good too? Like, what if it combines together? It's the thing, like, and they're also be saying like, oh, like, they took a chance on doing R-rated in a Disney product and it worked. Like, wow, like,
Well, the
but
first
getting
taste of that's gonna
Deadpool.
be Echo, really,
Yeah,
because Echo is
yeah,
violent as fuck based on that trailer.
yep. So we'll
So
just watch it and hopefully it'll be awesome.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Hopefully we see Daredevil just kicking ass, even
Yep.
though it's not his show, but he'll be in it eventually.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to Echo, and I'm looking forward to Deadpool, of course. But that's so far away at this point. It's fucking like 7 months away. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I'm honestly just trying to get through December. I'm going to a couple concerts this month.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes, and then tomorrow is like our work Christmas party thing, and it's
That'd be
at
cool.
a Golden One Center. which is
Oh wow.
where the Kings play.
Yeah,
Um,
that's like really impressive. Like, what are you guys gonna be? Is there like an event
it's
hall
not
or something you're going
no
to? Or
no it's the whole thing.
wow,
We
I was
sponsor.
gonna.
We're partially a sponsor,
Okay.
so we can use it for events when they're not using it. I'm sure they pay for the space, and we have access to like the concessions. They'll be manned while we're there, so we can get free food. Well, I mean it's not free.
Well,
They pay. The company pays for it, but
yeah. Well,
it's
either
free to
way, like
us.
it's cool to. Yeah, it's cool to walk up to a concession stand and get something for free, like get a
Yeah.
Coke and like some yeah, good
And
stuff instead of paying eighteen
Slamson,
dollars.
the lion of the King's lion mascot, will be there.
Awesome, bro. You can take some pictures and feel super motivated and feel like you're part
Totally.
of the corporate. Feel like you're part of the corporate family.
Yeah, totally. But I mean, usually I don't go to those things, but it's like, well, I might as well.
Free
Like,
food, free food. Yeah, like that's where you got to start going, bro.
yeah,
That's like way most people do things. Like they go because something offers free food or because it has like free drinks or something like that for the day and something to do.
yeah. I'm sure there will be free drinks, but I don't drink, so
Hmm.
I don't need
Well,
those.
like I'm sure you get like a Coke or something like that, or like a Sprite,
Maybe,
or like iced tea.
maybe. I doubt they'll have iced tea unless it's like Gold Peak or Pure Leaf, which are dog shit. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Gold Peak is okay, but Pure Leaf is shit. It's because it's fucking Lip. Is it Lipton? It's not Lipton. Is it Lipton? I think it is. Lipton can be good, but like, bro, Snapple is shit. Anything with so much citrus ass is garbage. Anyway,
Mm.
people didn't come here for my opinions on food because they're not very good. My
Well,
opinions
you
are
can
not
cook.
very good.
You can cook at least, so that's important.
Yeah,
It's-
but
it's-
I don't eat very much like variety, you know.
yeah,
So,
yeah, it depends. No black and bass.
oh, Black and Bass is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some cod that I'll cook up because cod is very like nutritionally is very good. Like for like the calorie to protein ratios and like just like the aminos and well no, I don't know about aminos in cod. Aminos are good in salmon, but yeah, I don't honestly give a shit about nutrition that much. I just eat protein. That's all I care about.
There you go.
And then I kind of ignore all the other stuff. Like
You drink water.
yeah, I drink
Well,
water, of
I eat
course.
fruits and I have broccoli and stuff. Like, that's how I try and
I
keep
don't
it
eat
keep it balanced.
fruits or broccoli, so
Oh,
you
well,
know. Yeah, usually when I cook, it's like chicken, and then I'll make like a sauce for it, or like I'll do like the little taco things, or it's just a variety of ways you eat chicken, like fettuccine alfredo, or you make it with like a sauce and some mashed potatoes, or you do like pollo loco, which is really good, or like do like little taco things, like just a bunch of different dishes you can make with chicken. I could do 5 or 6 dishes a week that are different with chicken, easy,
yep.
without having to like bread it and fry it, which is
There
good.
you go. Yep.
Um, so yeah, but pollo loco pops off, bro. Not El Pollo Loco. I'm not a fan of El Pollo Loco, but like the dish Pollo Loco, it's really good. I don't use the tomato bouillon because I hate tomato, so I use chicken bouillon instead. It's really
Mm.
good. Yeah, yeah. You just for people who don't know, you just like cut up some chicken into little cubes, and then you fry them with some adobo seasoning, and then you add water and milk. Not milk. You add water and a bouillon cube and rice, and you cook that for a while. And then at the end, you add some like nacho cheese sauce and a little bit of milk. You stir it in there, and it's nice and fluffy and just delicious. It's really good.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like a one pot, easy, like 30-minute meal. Just good. Just good shit. Good protein, good everything. You know. I mean, it's not that great for you because there's a lot of fat in there as well, and rice is carbs and stuff. But it's good if you're working out and you're bulking. So
Yep. Yeah, that's why people watch a nerd show, fitness advice.
yeah, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for shows like this, right? Like, sure, we're nerds and we talk about nerd stuff, but I think like people have lives and in when you live I mean okay, that's kind of stupid to say, but like when you live life, like you kind of wonder if like other people's experiences are like yours, or like of like you're odd for like behaving certain ways or thinking certain things or liking certain things or whatever.
Mm.
So like I think like there's always value in like just hearing other people's perspectives, even if you don't agree with them or you think, man, these
Yep.
guys are idiots and we don't want to hear what they have to say. Like there's still value there to be
Yeah,
gained.
it's good to have external validation. Hey, I need to go.
Well,
So,
your raid is starting.
it's not a raid, it's a PvP event.
Oh well,
Doing player versus player.
okay. Well, you go play versus players and shit, and we'll see you guys next week on the Nerd Ledger. Every Wednesday we are here live on Twitch TV/the Nerd Ledger. Probably going to be 5 p.m. moving forward, but it's either 5 or 5:30. So we'll keep you updated through Twitter or whatever. Like, comment, subscribe, click buttons, follow, review, rate,
All
all that
that
stuff. Much love.
Donate. Give us hundreds of
You
thousands of
can't. You
dollars.
can't donate. I don't have it set up.
LA high rises.
Yeah.